All right, it's 9 o'clock Central, it's 10 Eastern, and I don't know what time it is in the rest of the world, but it's time for the cave. So welcome, gentlemen. Good evening. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Mel, is that a new shirt?
It is, man. I like how it fits me too, because I just worked out, so it's kind of hugging me.
I'm loving that, man. I'm loving that.
Y'all had to be in the green room before the show started. But I did just work out, though.
But we're having
just work out, though.
Yeah, we're having a drinking game tonight.
Funny, I can't hear them.
If you
wait,
that was going to happen.
You see that I just worked out? Because you see that.
I'll tell you that, man. That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to give me a new shirt too.
Quickly share with your friends and family. Those of you watching at home, please share this video. It is live from the cave.
You guys hear me okay?
Yep, we hear you, Rob.
Yeah, you good to go, bro.
Yep. So why don't you introduce yourself really quickly, Eric?
So I'm Eric Gordon. I love being a part of this man cave every once in a while, making that one appearance, just showing up when I get the invite, and it's all good. Part of the Majestic Gents out here in Chicago, largest Chicago style steppers group in the city of Chicago. Also, I'm part of a 501c3 group called Infinity in Motion, where we raise college scholarship funds for children from state to state. We've been broken down a little bit because of COVID-19, but yet we're still moving on and doing some things. Also, I am the owner of Rhythmic Elements Entertainment, which I do contemporary jazz and steppers events and some of a lot of other things in between there. We're including internet radio show with contemporary jazz.
And we are glad to have you. And he's about a size 42 long, which actually gives him extra points for being on the show because he wears really good suits. And Mel and I are always on the lookout for good suits. Roberson, introduce yourself. Uh-oh.
Hold on. I recently got measured, and now I'm a 44 long because I work out. So I might not be able to fit. I might not be able to fit that 42 long.
But you look good, Mel. You look like you could be a 42 or 44. Why is that?
Well, so I've been a 42 the majority of my life. But the older you get, you hold weight a little differently.
Right.
And then because I work out, I spread out a little bit.
And you buy a new shirt every time.
And you buy a new shirt.
Was kind of stressing the fabric when I buttoned it.
I
get what I'm saying? But I guess that's kind of what happens when I work out. So
you work out, exactly.
Right.
So for all of you in the listening audience, have your drink ready because every time Mel mentions he works out, you're taking a sip tonight. That is our exercise for tonight, people. Robert Hazzard, introduce yourself, sir.
Well, I better start now with my drinking.
Yeah, you 7 sips behind, Hazzard.
I know, I saw that. I'm Robert Hazzard. I manage the Hazzard Group, which is a small boutique consulting business. I have 4 amazing grandkids, and a girl and a boy, son and a daughter. And I live in Chicago, and I am here just to have a great time with you guys. Kick it up. Let's get to it.
All right. Mr. Roberson, besides working out, what else do you do?
Oh, Robert, you actually have a shirt and a jacket on today. So no nipplage today?
Nipplage.
No nipplage today.
I kind of knew that somebody was going to say that. So I thought I would just, kind of show, I work out today.
Well, my name is Mel Roberson. As you can see by these guns, I work out.
Oh, it's gonna be that kind of night.
Wait, are we supposed to be taking a drink?
Well, every time works out.
I'm a 6-time Amazon best-selling author. Our latest project that I did with Mr. Glenn Murray, Faith, Failure, Success, hit Amazon bestseller rankings on the 30th of November, 2020. So not even 90 days ago. So still excited about that. I'm an actor. Tune in this coming Wednesday, February 3rd, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Chicago PD. I will be back as what's my name, Glenn, on there?
Officer Random Black Dude.
Officer Random Black Dude, which really isn't his name.
I'm sorry. Detective Random Black Dude.
Detective Random Black Dude.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Got it right. I messed up that, man. My bad. Won't do that.
I'm Detective James Cullen on Chicago PD on NBC. And I'll be back on there Wednesday for another episode. And I'm like Robert, I'm just a lover of life, and I work
and
out.
You're a boutique actor.
Right, I'm a boutique actor and I work out. So
see, I feel the love. I feel the love, brothers.
Welcome back, Rob. Welcome back. I am Glenn Murray. I am a co-producer on this show, along with Roger Jackson, Keisha Rose, Mel and Shawn. What else do I do? I own a company called 220 Holdings, which has 220 Publishing, 220 Marketing and Media, and Wine Crawl, which is coming back soon. And I'm excited about that. So let's get started, fellas. First of all, I think we should just kick this out and get it out there and say rest in peace to a legend. Cicely Tyson passed away this week, and I just wanted to acknowledge that and everything that she's done for the culture. If anybody wants to comment on that, please do. But just felt like we needed to acknowledge that. And Mel, you being an actor with Roger, Keisha with that background, the acting backgrounds as well, and the book that just came out, her autobiography, just really an impactful week.
Now, wasn't it a couple days before her passing that her book was actually released?
Yep.
Did I hear that right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Literally a few days.
The crazy part is, man, like, you grow up watching somebody. I remember watching Miss Jane Pittman in grammar school, right?
Yeah.
As one of the videos we had to watch. You grow up watching somebody, and for me at least, not knowing that I would eventually be in that industry and having so much admiration for her as a person. She was a trailblazer. She was so iconic on screen and off screen. And to think about it like this, I mean, she was born in the 30s. Her hue of skin was not widely accepted. You know what I mean? And for her to have the type of impact that she had on the entertainment world, having her hue of skin, man, she was just something to watch, something to marvel, something to listen to. Even in her interview, she was just dropping so much knowledge. And it's one of those things, like, the older I get, I'm 44 now, and I don't look bad for 44 because I work out.
Because you work out?
At 44.
You throw that in and just mention that.
It's a drinking game, Shawn. Every time
you
Shawn.
take
a sip.
Yeah. You gotta play along.
But
get your bottle ready.
It's one of those things where the inevitable is coming for some of these legends, and it's tough. Like, it's like, man, I'm not looking forward to the day, like James Earl Jones is another one I'm worried about right now. It's like, oh my God, So just that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, there's a few legends pushing 70 and 80. And I'm not even gonna call names, but everybody kind of knows who they are, and you're just kind of sitting there like, okay.
Yeah, don't jinx them.
Their message, yeah, really. I don't want to jinx them.
Yeah,
definitely. Shawn, introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Shawn. No, I'm not. What's up, guys? I appreciate y'all being patient with me, man. Tomorrow is my niece's 26th birthday. And so, we were as a family doing a big to-do for her. And so we had a photo shoot in my studio all day today. And then she rented out a movie theater for us to go to the movies. Her boyfriend came in from Texas. And so I've been doing the family thing with my family for the last little bit. So they let me dip for an hour, and then come back and finish kicking with him. I might be stuck here since it's storming, like it is. And people driving crazy, man, on the way back from the movie theater. I'm like, if you don't have a 4-wheel drive SUV, take it easy. You got people in Sentras, zooming by you.
Right.
All right. So when I see you down the road flipped over, I'm not going to stop and help you.
Chicago's the only place I see Priuses trying to do donuts in the snow.
Really? But I am fortunate enough to be the host of Live from the Cave. I'm one of the Three Stooges. And as Mel would say, I do a little this, I do a little that. And and that's really it. But yeah, man. So I'm glad to be here. What's everybody? What's up, Eric?
What's going on, Don? Good to see you, baby.
Yeah, you too.
I like that paperboy pimp brim you got, man. That's fly.
Hey, man, I do what I do. I do what I do.
I showed up at a stepper set one time with one of those on, man, and I gained a lot of attention with that maroon paperboy hat.
Yeah,
yeah. It was fly, man. I can't even find it now, man. I think I might have moved it into another box and can't find out where it is, man.
Well, don't take my clothes, I might have got you. Rob from the Hazzard group.
Yes. What's going on, baby?
How you doing, man? Good to see you, dog.
Man, I'm on top of the world, brother. No complaints.
All right. What we got on tap, man? I actually had somebody hit me, man, on the way from the movies with a question, man, that they wanted us to address, but I don't know what we got on tap, so I'm not going to kick the door in like my stuff is so significant,
Well, we just started off with Cicely Tyson.
Yeah,
so we started off with the fact that I work out, but then second was Cicely Tyson.
Yeah, man, that was a hard one, man. It actually made me want to ask you guys, man, up to this point, what has been your greatest celebrity loss, your most notable celebrity passing, if you have one or two, because we champion these people, and oftentimes we feel like we know them based on how they have impacted us from a particular standpoint. I was watching a dude yesterday on Football Life, and he had all these Walter Payton tattoos. He had never met Walter, when he was living, but Walter had inspired him so much that he had, tattooed his name on his body and little sweetness, and had a W in the Superman logo. And I wasn't mad, hey man, he inspires you, to that level, do what you do. But it made me curious about the celebrities that have gone on that you might consider the biggest celebrity deaths of your lifetime for you. Who would those be? Mel, you got one?
Ironically enough, because the anniversary just passed, the one that hit me the hardest was Kobe. You know what I mean? Like we're the same age. He was getting out of high school and going into the league, and I'm in college looking at this kid that's my age,
this man child,
right, shocked the world,
right.
And the day Kobe died, man, the month after, I was not all right. I don't know if I'm totally all right, man. Like, it was just too soon, bro. It was just too soon. So that's the one.
I think Kobe was also, man. So I think anytime it's unexpected like that, it makes it harder. Like if you got any time to prepare for it, it's inevitable. It's coming down the pipeline. You get a chance to prepare for it. It makes it a little bit more palatable. But when it happens like that, man, I mean, I remember just waking up, turning on the TV and seeing the sight of a helicopter crash, and I'm like, come on, you got to be kidding me. This isn't happening right now, Eric, what about you, man? Celebrity.
Well, it's funny because I'm a music lover. It's always hurtful when I think about Prince. I enjoyed his music way back in the 80s, and when I finally got a chance to go up to Paisley Park to see it, it was so iconic to me, and I enjoyed the visit. But there's a certain spirit that's involved when you have someone that you really love their talent and their music, and just like Mel said, it's something about when that person passes, there's a vibe that you feel. And when I had a chance to visit Paisley Park at the time after his death, you can still feel a certain energy there, and you can't take it away, and it's personal. Not everybody's going to feel it, but for me, that's what I feel, especially because I enjoyed all of his music and and especially because he was always a crossover type artist to me. He did things that a lot of artists didn't do, especially in the world of R&B. He did stuff that, I mean, I'll admit, man, he will make you want to go at 13 years old, want to figure out what sex is all about,
Yeah.
Because of the way it was Prince that did that for me, but I get it. That had nothing to do with Prince.
Hey Mel, I'm gonna start working out harder, man.
You haven't been thinking there for a minute, though, Eric.
Hey Rob, what about you, man? Celebrities that have passed on, man.
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked. There's actually a couple. Phyllis Hyman.
Hmm.
Phyllis Hyman, because I love music, as you know, Shawn. I love what you do on the musical scene as well. But to be able to see Phyllis Hyman in concert and just listen to her amazing voice and music, that was kind of tough. The other person that might be surprising to you all is Whitney Houston. Whitney, saw her in concert a few times live, and I just love the way she could hit a note, especially when she came out with her first album. So those would be the two that I would pick on the celebrity side.
Yeah. Glenn, I want to hear from you before I share mine.
Yeah, for me, it was Prince without a doubt. I felt like I'd grown up with that music and also the timing of it. So he died in like late April 2016. So I was already going through something emotionally because my mom had died a few weeks before. So, music and comedy were the things that were like really feeding my soul and helping me to get through it in mourning and everything else, because it's just what I turned to. And like I go into a movie theater and all of a sudden I get all these text messages from people who know I'm a Prince fan, and they're like, Prince died. And I'm like, you are kidding me. This isn't happening. And it's one of those, when you hear about it and it's sudden, to your point, you're like, this didn't happen. You're in denial. Kobe, I was in denial. Chadwick Boseman, I was in denial. I'm like, no, this didn't just happen.
Yeah.
Whitney, that was shocking as well. So, but Prince was the one for me because I've always been a fan. Huge fan of Prince's, and still am to this day. And I went to Paisley Park in July. We went in July, and it was chilling. You literally felt the spirit.
Yes.
Seriously, it's almost a spiritual experience going there.
Yep.
Surprisingly.
And Glenn, isn't it funny where Paisley Park is located? You would think this is where Paisley Park
This is where Paisley Park is, because you roll up on it and you're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I heard it's very unassuming when you pull up, and I didn't want to. I figured I would be redundant, but Walter Payton was probably the first one that really hurt me because he was a childhood hero of mine, and then Ali really hurt me because he was a childhood hero of mine. But I have to say that none, because I came up, in music, performing music, loving music. I sang "Do Me Baby" at my high school talent show as a senior in high school. I loved Prince. I used to say it as a freshman in college, I was the biggest heterosexual Prince fan you could find. I actually had his posters up in my dorm room. I was fascinated with the dude, man. And when he passed, man, it was without question the most significant celebrity death.
You sang that one. You sang the "Do Me" in high school, you said?
I did. Were you there? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I sang "Do Me Baby" in the high school talent show. And if there's anybody from my high school watching now, I'm sure they tickle because they remember all 5'3" or 4" of me, up there with my falsetto boy trying to make it happen. But yeah, man, he's always been
nice.
Yeah, he's always been that dude for me, man.
Yep.
So definitely rest in peace, man, to Cicely Tyson, man. She did so much, man, to move the culture forward, to impact the culture. She wore that thing so beautifully, all the challenges and stuff that I'm sure it came with that we know nothing about. She always wore it so gracefully, man.
Yeah. Looking at the comments, I see a number of people have mentioned, like Michael Jackson and of course Luther Vandross and others that have passed along.
Yeah, all very hurtful. But for me, the ultimate was that dude. As a singer, I grew up trying to sing Luther songs. Was real personal for me.
I sing him in karaoke.
He was on my mix tape. He was on my slow jams tape. Luther was a staple. He was the anchor on my slow jams tape.
Oh yeah.
He always was my anchor.
You knew what
Yeah, that's pretty much everybody. You can't make a slow jam tape and not have Luther on it. I mean, that's
That's right. Yeah.
That's against the rules. It's sacrilegious, ain't it?
There's a book of slow jam rules.
Wait, Robert, do that again.
Did Robert just Robert, stick to that saxophone, brother. Just stick to that sax.
So who still has their original slow jam tape? The one that you set on your little boom box and you used to keep it on pause?
Yeah.
And you just let that pause button go right on time.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Eric, you're not even ready, dude. I had volumes. I had a series of all male artists and all male groups that I played for the ladies, and it was called From the Brothers with Love. And I got all the way. This was when you had cassettes that were 90 minutes. It was a cassette, not an 8-track. And they were 90 minutes long, 45 minutes on each side.
Yep.
Maybe I got all the way up to volume 4.
But wait, Shawn, here's my problem. My problem was when I was younger, you know how you have family members, you got cousins that want to borrow your slow jam tape that you took weeks to put together, and they want to borrow that slow jam tape, and when it comes back, there's that little fold or that little wrinkle in your cassette tape because that brother messed it up in his radio. Now, you want to talk about making me mad? Come back and my slow jam tape is messed up.
That's why you can't buy, sir.
I had the boombox with the high speed dubbing, and I would always make a backup to the original.
I didn't have that. See, I didn't have money like you did, Mel.
No, that's because Mel had trust issues. He knew if he loaned that thing out, he might not get it back. He's like, no, I can't trust you. I can't trust you.
But I had the Max L cassettes. I had the Max L cassettes, the good sounding cassettes. Yeah, that's what I put the slow jam on.
Hey, if you use that Tone Master, you knew that the cassette recorder was gonna eat it up. If you use Tone Master, it was guaranteed it was gonna eat it up.
But Shawn, you had to have that pencil ready. You keep that pencil handy somewhere because you're gonna roll that pencil back up. Yeah,
right.
If it got too far, Eric, you couldn't save it. If it got too bad, you could save it. But if it got too far, you had to go get one of them eyeglass screwdrivers and take
it apart.
And there's nothing worse than listening to Luther go from a baritone to a falsetto on that tape. That's when you know that tape is messed up.
The speed get all bad.
Yeah.
Hey, he sounds like a demon talking. All of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute. Beelzebub. How did Beelzebub get on the record?
Nice. Now I actually have one cassette tape left in my life. One.
Really?
And
I got several.
I actually have it in a special place because my son, when he was younger, in first grade, they used to tape their readings. And so his teacher would have him reading out loud. And that's the only cassette tape I have to this day that is treasured. And I don't even have a cassette player in this house yet. But I'm probably going to get a boombox. But that cassette is on a special dresser in my room because of him reading that one time a full book.
I have a cassette of me. True story. For like a year, I did weekend DJing in Champaign at this radio station, WBCP. It was like an AM station. So I would do like the midday thing, but every now and then I get to do like the evening, late night things. I got to be the love man. You know, I was loving that.
DJ Glenn.
No.
You know what, Glenn? I didn't know that you were on the radio.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. That's a long time ago. It's almost 20 years now.
Yeah, so when you said that, Eric, I have a cassette of me when I was on WKKC, which is college radio station 89.3.
Yeah,
but
Friday night radio on WKKC.
Right. That's right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I got a couple of station breaks, that I did, and so I actually still have it on the cassette and the reel-to-reel, so that my daughter can hear, me, on the radio.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. I was doing a jazz show, and I would launch. Prince. He has an album called The Rainbow Children, which is like a jazz album, and he had this song called Lost in the Melody. That was my introductory song. I would roll in, and you're now listening to.
Hey, Shawn, to jump back to your question, Pink House was another one that hit me hard. When Pink House died,
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. And I didn't even think about that till you said WKKC.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. You know, Doug Banks dying, man, was hurtful for me. When Doug Banks, that was a tough one. That was a tough one. Hey, shout out to my new Clyde Finn, man, who's watching with us. He said, "What about when you used to have to take the tab out of the tape so you make sure you couldn't record over it?"
Record over it. Break the tabs at the top.
Hey, look, and then if you ever needed to record over it, you go get some tissue and put it back in.
I didn't think about doing that.
Boy, y'all showing y'all age. I'm too young to remember all of this.
Whatever.
You can say you're too young, but we know you know.
I know.
Hey, I just look young because I work out.
Hey, look, hey, Mel, you all fit, got your tight shirt on. We know you young, but you know you old.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta tell them you grade early. Mel's like, I graded early.
I did grade early.
Yeah, my dad was grading in his 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
I started grading at 12.
I grade early too.
They used to say it was good luck when we was little. You know that if you were a child and you had some gray hair, it was good luck.
That was a lie.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't think I got luck out of this.
Hey, but that's a good question, man. That's a good question because we are in that season space, man. Does the gray hair, man, on the ladies bother you? Do you like it? Is it something that you're ambivalent about? You know, does it? You know, Glenn, I saw that. You know, talk to me. And I'm sorry with you, Glenn, since you're making faces. How does a gray hair come across to you, man?
Thank you, Shawn. I appreciate you jumping. And it's time for the next question, though. I would love to answer that. Thank you very much, Shawn. Mike Pence. Thank you, Shawn. I appreciate your question, but we're going to talk about something else now.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to it. Just I just want you to know. So let's talk about this Marjorie. What's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think that Mel and Glenn particularly might have quite a bit to say about this young lady, man. I actually came across her not knowing who she was. Somebody had posted a video of her. Basically, she was basically countering systemic racism and basically saying, you know, black problems are because they're the problem, you know, because they're doing A, B, and C. I didn't know who she was. And then, you know, that next week or two, I started to see her, you know, on the news and on news outlets. And then I discovered who she is. But I think the babe is legitimate evil personally. But what do you think, Glenn?
Yeah, I mean, she's legitimately something. Not sure what yet, but she's legit.
She's that shit crazy is what she is.
Well, that too. Yeah. The whole following, the group she follows, QAnon, who believes that the Democrats are pedophiles that eat babies. There literally was an interview with Anderson Cooper, with a former follower of QAnon, and she apologized to him because she's like, "I'm so sorry. I really thought that you ate babies." This is a grown person. This is a 35-year-old woman who she got off into it because of her boyfriend, and she kind of broke away from him last year, and she literally is sitting here and apologizing because that's what they believe, that all the Democrats were pedophiles. They also believed that somehow at the inauguration, the National Guard were going to turn on Biden and everybody there and the Democrats and arrest them and haul them off, and Trump was going to come back triumphant as president. Also, thank you, Chantel. She believes that the forest fires in California were caused by Jewish lasers that were controlled by George Soros and other rich Jewish families, and that they planned the forest fires by using Jewish lasers that shot out from space to set the forest fires on fire. People voted for this woman and put her in Congress, y'all.
Jewish lasers, not the Hebrew lasers, but
the what is a Jewish laser?
Not the Gentile lasers either, just the Jewish ones. Okay. So yeah.
Well, that's the interesting thing that people voted for her.
Controlled by rich Jews, yeah. So, but yeah, people voted for her and put her in office. I just want y'all to know that somewhere in Northwest Georgia.
Hey man, 75 mil or whatever voted for Trump. So, you can't surprise me at this point. I told you I'm stuck in the reality of what we've seen over the last year. And for me, man, every time I go out, I think about half of the country that advocated for that misogynistic, hateful, guy to be the head of the whole, the leader of the free world, and when you think about the fact that half the world you live in thinks that way, it's unsettling. So I admit I haven't been comfortable outside since, so the little chunk that she got, I'm like, yeah, I expect her because she's under the umbrella of that 75 mil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I seen something interesting not long ago. So a little backstory. My dad and I would go hunting in between late October and all the way in February. And my dad is from the old school. Straight from old school. He will not go out and buy certain items because of what Jim Crow did to him mentally. He won't do it. And we were on our way to a little small town called Braidwood. It's just south of Joliet off of I-55.
I know that area. Yeah.
Okay. So, I had to stop into every little small town has a Casey's gas station. Every small town.
Everyone. Yep.
Every one of them, Rob. So we stopped at
Cold Dunk, and they're usually racist as hell too, but
Well, here's what's interesting. I'm getting out of the truck. My dad sees this big giant truck with a 4x4, big wheels, country guys getting out, the typical country looking person getting out of this truck. So I'm on my way in and I come out and my dad said, Eric, things are changing. I said, why? He said, them white folks actually spoke to me. So really? Now here's my dad. He is totally the guy that says, okay, we're going to hurry up and get in this grocery store and come out. But he said these people have started changing because now it seems like some of the country is starting to change their views on, and I'm talking black men now, changing their views on black men. It's like we're now getting some type of respect that we deserved hundreds of years ago from everything that we've done. And now you're giving us certain bit of respect. But this lady, Marjorie Taylor Greene, some of the things that she's put out publicly, it is just like you said, Shawn, 75 million people think this way. Now, I got people who voted for number 45 who have changed their views because of what they saw. Their thing was, well, Eric, we need somebody in office who's a businessman now. Okay, I get it now. But now 4 years later, they're changing that tune. But it's the remaining 75 million that still voted for him. You're right. I get a little nervous sometimes going outside. And I have to wonder if I should go off and get get my carry and conceal license. I'm already a hunter anyway.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to the range next week.
Do you have a carry and conceal, Rob?
No, I don't.
Mel, you got one?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
But I know one thing you can confirm: you work out.
I do work out, though. I do work out.
He can confirm that.
You work out. That does happen.
I think that it's fair, that there are some people that supported Trump that did switch their views, but at the end of the day, man, I look at it like this: if I am a karate instructor and Mel is an acting teacher, and the karate instructor decides one day out of the blue he wants to be an acting teacher, then he's going to walk into his attempt to get that job without any connection to that job, any connection to the history of it, any connection to where the respect spots are in it, what the decorum is, what the behaviors are, what's appropriate and inappropriate. And that's how that dude walked into that office. They say they want a businessman. Well, that's what you got. You got somebody who had no respect for legislation, had no respect for the office itself, had no respect for the culture of holding the office. And that's what you got. So every time you say, oh, I want somebody different remember that they're not going to come with the same respect and acumen and all of that it requires. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me jump in here for a second, Shawn. I to a certain degree or extent, I agree with you. However, there were people like Ronald Reagan, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who were not politicians before they became politicians. And the difference is they had common sense, right? So when you get somebody with common sense, because ultimately America is a business, right? Ultimately, that's what America is. And
Capitalism.
a lot of these municipalities and states are incorporated businesses, right? So there does need to be a certain amount of business acumen. He just lacked common sense and did not know political functions and was not smart enough to surround himself with people that had political functionality that could be a well-oiled machine. I mean, who's my man? Andrew Carnegie knew nothing about the making or manufacturing of steel, but became the largest steel magnate and producer of steel in America at that particular time. So I think it can happen depending on who the person is and their willingness to surround themselves with people that can get the job done. I don't think that the people that have to be in office have to necessarily be politicians, right? They just need to have some common sense and some respect.
Here's what I think happened, though. The people that you named, and I don't know their histories very well, but I think the people that you named had a journey to the White House. They held some other kind of office before they ended up holding that office. This dude came off the street right into the top spot. And so I think in the journey, he may have developed a respect for the office and some of the traditions, you know, but he didn't have that. He went right from the outhouse to the White House, and he treated it like the outhouse. But I do agree with you. If you have a humane temperament, Mel, you know what I'm saying? If you are a respectful and compassionate person, you're going to walk in the door wanting to respect those things that are held dear, that are associated with that office. This dude, that's why he didn't age at all, because he didn't give a damn about none of it and nobody.
Here's a question that I'd like to just pose, because I've been kind of following this on MSNBC, CNN, and a couple other major stations. The question becomes now: Will we see another party being developed? And somebody said they believe that might actually happen.
I think they're going to be loyal to him for as long as they can. They won't need to form another party. What you're going to see is the Republican Party splinter. You're going to have the traditional.
And they better not let that happen, because if they do, then the Republican Party is going to suffer and maybe become extinct. What they need to do is educate these people on the fact that he was on nonsense and try to bring them back home, because if they split the Republican Party, and that's what's happening now, you know, the Republican Party has become split between people trying to be loyal to him and people trying to say, hey, I'm finally trying to get off this bus before it hits this wall. And then they're going to be split, and they're never going to have the numbers they need to have, you know, to execute what they want to execute.
Right. Yeah, here's what's going to happen in the next 4 years. You're going to see state parties, and it's already started. In Arizona, they censured John McCain's widow because she supported Trump. So they censured her. The Republican Party in Arizona did. In Wyoming, Liz Cheney, who surprisingly voted for impeachment, Republican Dick Cheney's daughter, now they're coming after her. In Pennsylvania, I think they censured somebody too, or South Carolina, they censured another Republican congressman who voted for impeachment, which was a real surprise. He's a very conservative Republican, and he voted for it as well. So you're going to see that happen. Also, you're going to see an attack on voting rights happen like never seen before. In Georgia, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, in Arizona, in Wisconsin, all those places that Biden flipped, you're going to see an attack on voting rights. So it's going to be so important. And I harp on the courts so much, but there were 15 vacancies starting out in Biden's term because some Republican appointed judges waited until he became president and was inaugurated to announce their resignation because they didn't want to be replaced by Trump. Wow. So it's going to be so important to fill those vacancies, but it's also going to be so important that the Justice Department is on top of things when it comes to civil rights. So whoever heads up the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department needs to have their head on a swivel, because all these states now are going to be trying to change these laws to try to suppress the votes. And to me, suppression of voting is criminal. And you are a criminal if you're trying to deny me that one right to vote, because that's the one thing that has made a difference for everybody in this country. And it proved itself in November. So this is going to be under attack in a major way over the next 4 years. So that's what you can expect from the remainder of the Republicans, or from the remnants of the Republicans. The true Republicans are still going to try to hold on, or they're just going to give up and leave the party and become independents or Democrats.
So Glenn, were they holding those seats so that Trump
Professor Murray, really?
Was it because they knew that he would replace them with somebody who was self-serving for him and his position? Over
99% of the 220 or 212, I can't remember. It was over 200 judges Trump appointed. 99% of them were white and under 50. And over half of them had no legal backgrounds, or their backgrounds were very sketchy. I'd say 10 to 15 of them were rated unqualified by the National Bar Association. A couple of them maybe had tried cases for less than a year. He put ideologues on the court for lifetime appointments, 200 of them, more than Obama did in his first term, more than Bush did in his first term as well. So that's what you're up against in the courts. So that's why it's so important. That's why the whole lesser of the two evils was BS when it came to Hillary and Trump, because you got the evil. You definitely got the evil. So you talked about the lesser. You got the evil. You got over 500,000 people dead. You got 200 people in the courts that don't have any interest in civil rights, don't have any interest in human rights. So you got what you paid for because you didn't vote. So that's
just me, man. I'm sorry, I don't apologize for what I've always found it to be a cop out. I just can't vote for this person, as an excuse. It's like, and I still to this day see people who have no benefit from Trump being in office, 30 days in, less than 30 days in, they going at Biden so hard. And I'm like, did you want it to stay the way it was?
Yeah, no.
The option, I could see you talking shit, but did you want to keep this dude? If you don't want to keep this dude, shut up.
Somebody was already posting
hard.
it. Yeah, somebody was posting on Facebook like last week, Biden's here and look at all this happening. People are dying. Like, people were dying long before Biden ever got there. But it's his fault.
I was laughing today because the press secretary or somebody said, we will keep you abreast of this process, talking about COVID. I said, hell, you didn't have to say this process. It wasn't a process before.
Right, exactly.
We'll keep you abreast of the process because this is the first time we have had a process in regard to it. So you don't have to specify. This is the only one that there's been. There has not been any other.
Yeah, really. I think they've lost 20 million vaccines were lost. They don't know where they went. They just sent them out to the state. They don't know where they are. They can't find them.
Speaking of the vaccine, man, let's go around. Are you going to take it? Are you not going to take it? What do you think about it? Rob, let's start with you since you got on a new outfit.
I didn't work out today. I didn't work out, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about working out.
Oh, you think about working out? What about the vaccine, Rob?
I think the needle is going to break on your arm, brother. I think the needle is going to break on your arm when they try to do it.
I'm sorry. Let me go back to the question. Shawn. So the question was, will I take it? I actually will take it. I think when it becomes available. I've never taken the flu shot or any of those kind of things, but I think I want to take it. I want to see what happens.
Eric, what about you? You gonna take it? I heard Mel has the record for the most broken needles in the hospital because his arms are so hard and tight. When they try to, use the needles on him, the needles just break. That's just what I heard. That he holds them.
Why is that, Mel? Why is the needles breaking on your arm?
Only because I work out.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Take a drink.
Yep.
I'll be honest, Shawn. I actually battled over this for a while. And see what happens is when I get in that truck with my dad, we're a couple, we're father and son, so our viewpoints are a little bit different. And in the beginning, I said, Pops, listen, I'm not down with this vaccine. He said, Eric, every time Walgreens opens up, I ask them directly, can I get a flu shot? That's where he's from. So he said when that COVID-19 vaccination comes his way, whether it's Pfizer or Moderna, he doesn't care. He's going to take it. And I was like, no, Pops, this, that, and the other. Finally, he just kind of put some things into me that said it's probably important for me to take it because my mom has a compromised immune system, and you may take this vaccination, but you may still be asymptomatic. You may still carry it into the house, possibly, and infect your mom. And so it took a little while, but then I concluded. I said, okay, when it comes my way, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there with it in a minute, Raj. But Glenn, what are you thinking? Are you going to take it?
I'm leaning toward yes. My parents actually took it last week, and they're doing fine. They took their first dose, which was important. They needed to, and I'm thinking about it. I don't have to rush into the decision. I actually just took a second COVID test today, which was negative. So that's good. But I'm going to do the research and see, like, which vaccine, what's available to me, all of that. And it's still going to be a while before we can actually take it. I'm still, being as young as I am, it'll be a while.
My man.
Being
I think we got a bad signal, Glenn. Sound like you said you were young. I don't know. You got a bad signal.
I'm holding on at 35. Yes, 35 and holding.
I don't know what you holding at 35.
You're only as young as the youngest.
This is your 12th anniversary of 35?
Hey, you're only as old as the youngest guest.
This is second go round at 35.
And 35 is my age. I believe them.
Mel, you are known to be health conscious and you work out. So I'm curious to know whether or not you're gonna take it.
So I generally don't talk about this. This is a topic that I stay away from, especially in public platforms. So I'm going to defer on this question. What I will say is, they rush to get a vaccine out for something that's been with us for less than, a year, where we can do studies and figure this thing out. And so I'm in no rush to see any parts of anything like that, because I feel like a lot of these people now are lab rats. That's just my personal opinion. Like, I know there are people that are like, we need this and we got to do it and all of this other stuff. I think that the information is so inconclusive as far as what I think, and I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. This is based off of my limited research and all of that other stuff. What I do know is, and I'm not saying this proudly, unbeknownst to me, I've been exposed twice and I have not caught it. I pride myself in building up a good immune system and doing things responsibly. So I'm not worried about catching it. I'm not putting myself in predicaments where the chances of me catching it are going up. I'm not trying to kick it. I'm not trying to go to Georgia. I love y'all in Georgia, but I ain't trying to go there. So for me, it's not something that's on the forefront. I'm not worried about jeopardizing the health of my parents. I work from home. I order my groceries. I clean the packaging when they come in. You know what I mean? Even though I love to skate, I ain't been in over a year. I'm not dining in restaurants. So it's just not something that I'm like, oh my God, I got to get it done, because I'm not in a work environment where I'm constantly exposed to people. I work out in my basement at home. So, it's
he
not
works
like I'm
out.
working
That's
out
number
at the gym,
13.
He
I
works
just work
out.
out at home.
Hey man, what I will say is this, man. I haven't made a decision on the vaccine yet. I was talking to a good friend of mine who's a nurse on yesterday, and she was saying that some of the vaccines are a little bit different. Like, one company is actually they're actually injecting you with a version of the virus in the vaccine. She has some health issues that make her concerned about about that. There's another company that injects you with a synthesized version of the vaccine that she thinks, works better for her and what's going on with her from a health standpoint. I want to watch it for a little while before I really consider it, but I have found it interesting that, reports are that the people that are the least affected by it are now suddenly the ones that are rushing to the forefront to get it and getting it more than those who represent those that are the most compromised and the most at risk by it. So have you guys heard those stories as well? And what do you think?
I'm not sure if I've heard those stories there, Shawn, but I'm kind of piggyback on something that Mel mentioned. They got this vaccination done in 12 months, but they have other dilemmas. The number one that pops up in my mind is cancer. Now, my daughter asked me this question about the whole vaccination. How is it that they come up with this vaccination in 12 months, but yet they can't cure cancer? Because, my mom's dealing with it. I dealt with it. And they still can't find a cure for cancer. And I apologize for anybody that might hurt their feelings, but we are a capitalistic country. If something is making money, you only do just enough to help people. But this bag is going to continue because this is a money-making machine. Like the Illinois tollway. That thing should have been gone years ago. But we still have it because it's a money-making machine. And the government doesn't want to give up a money-making machine right away. But it's weird that they got this vaccination just like that, but they can't do the same thing for cancer. Though I'm still taking this vaccination for my own personal reasons, but it just seems odd to me.
Well, I think you have to consider two things, Eric. One, we're talking about a virus versus a disease. The other thing that we're talking about is this is impacting the economy. And cancer is a disease that, based on the way it's managed or whatever, it doesn't impact the economy the way this does. And so, it's not going to, cause the closing of restaurants and closing of businesses and that kind of thing. So I think that's probably one reason that they're handled differently, because at the end of the day, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So it's still in line with what you're saying. The concern isn't for the people and the illness, it's for the money that it's causing the economy.
Yeah, but one thing
that's why they're rushing to fix it, because people are losing their businesses and the economy is taking a hit. And so, and there's an age-old adage, which lets you know it's a different animal. They say there's no money in the cure.
Right.
The money in the sickness.
In the sickness.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that could be some of the reason that it's handled differently. But I empathize with you. But I lost my dad to lung cancer. I've got family members now, battling cancer, friends battling cancer. So I certainly empathize with you, but I can see a reason why they're managed a little bit differently.
Right. But Shawn, you also have to think about it. And I lost two friends in the last 30 days to COVID. One was 49 and one was 51. Sadly, but there was also, you've got to look at the underlying conditions, and that's what's also helping to take people out of here. Is that, one had diabetes, one was overweight. I don't know if he had any respiratory issues, but he immediately got pneumonia, and that just kind of quickly deteriorated his condition. And he ended up passing. But we've also got to look at that. This has uncovered a bigger issue amongst communities of color. How we've taken care of our bodies over the years, because it's almost like we were set up to fail. We've heard that before, but it's almost like this disease, we were set up to fail because we had all these underlying conditions, diabetes, heart disease, all the things that we've known that we've had and that we've needed to take care of. And now we get a virus that comes along and exacerbates those conditions and takes those conditions and takes hold and really impacts how you survive this and how you recover from it. because of those other conditions. So we've slowly conditioned our bodies to not survive this, if you think about it in a lot of ways too. So we got to think about it. Think about that as well.
So here's a question then, Glenn. Let me throw this out on the table. We talk about the physical aspects of this particular virus. How about the mental aspect of the virus?
Mm-hmm.
What is it doing to people mentally? Now, let me direct this with just the society one of the societies that I'm in, which is the steppers community. Many of them on the stepper scene are itching to get back on that dance floor. They really want to go and dance. But there's that other half that says it's changed for me. I have a whole different thought pattern. My ideas about getting out socially like that have changed. What are your thoughts?
I think they have to, and I'm gonna tell you, man, it breaks my heart, man. I respect anybody's position, you know, even to the degree that they think it's a hoax. But I hate when people weaponize their position, and I hate to see people who don't think it's a real thing weaponizing their feelings and mocking those people who are taking it seriously. That's hurtful to me, and it says more about you than it does anything. The fact that you don't value the safety, well-being, and mental health of your fellow man to put on a damn mask when you walk into Trader Joe's. I mean, is it really that inconvenient for you? And so it starts to become more of an obstruction of your rights. You know, when people start to complain about people actually picketing about people wearing masks. Hell, if I want to wear a mask, I can wear a mask.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a really sad, unfortunate thing, man. But one thing I will say is that, you know, I won't have compassion for you if it comes to Roost and you've been running around acting like it wasn't a real thing.
There was a
Roger, that was really mean. I just saw what you typed. That was really mean.
Well, we can't see you. I think we can.
Yeah, he said I stopped moving, but I'm still talking. He would rather be the other way around. That was mean. Hey, man, before we get out of here, man, I want to switch gears really, really quick. And I ran out of time. I promised a friend of mine that I would ask a question, man, and we got sidetracked talking. But a young lady hit me and asked me, is the idea of not kissing on the first date, is that like a Neanderthal primitive kind of position nowadays? Her on the first date. What?
We're gonna need to see your COVID numbers.
Okay, imagine we're not in a damn pandemic. Answer the question. Is not kissing on the first date considered to be a juvenile rule for adult relationships? What are your thoughts?
No, I think you make the rules as you go along. There's no
bingo.
There's no dating book like, let me look at section 1.
Okay, well, let me rephrase that, Glenn. Let me rephrase it then, because I'm giving it to you with too many options. If you went out with a lady and you all had a great time, and no, see, that's what we're gonna do. If you went out with a lady, y'all had a great time, you thought you were clicking and all the T's were crossing, all the I's were out, and at the end of the night, you leaned in for a good night kiss, and she was like, that's a little too early for me. I don't kiss on the first date. What would you walk away thinking or feeling?
Well, that's never happened to me. But
of course not.
Just for the record, you know,
Pimp Daddy in your new location. I was going to ask you if you got put out. But yeah,
I'm my sister's in North Carolina. Thank you. I think you can read the tea leaves on that and decide if you're a man and you've had a good date and the vibes are there. You kind of read the tea leaves on where they want to go with it. So you have to use your best dating judgment for that, I should say, not to that.
All right. Mel, what are your thoughts? You're single, you go out, lady, you guys enjoy each other. You're feeling that energy. You like, I think I can, seal it with a kiss tonight. It's not a pandemic. you lean in and she says, you cute.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Mel's gonna whisper, I work out. You know I work out, right? It's me.
You're gonna be like, you don't see my pecs, mama? Did you not see my
pop his pecs? He's gonna pop the pecs.
So let me flip it. Let me flip it a little bit. So there was a young lady that I was dating, and we're still really good friends to this point. And we had been out several times, and I never tried to kiss her. And she was like, "Is something wrong with me?" Like I was thinking, like, "Is something wrong with me?" I'm like, "Nah, I ain't got to turn you down the first time." You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be that. You know what I'm saying? It should be natural. I don't do things out of expectation. So I want it to be natural. I wanted to, hell, sometimes I might want to catch you off guard on the first one. You know what I mean? So for me, it's not even a thing of the first date I get a kiss, or I bought dinner I get a kiss, or all that. Nah, when it's time and I feel like I want to kiss her, I'm a kisser. You know, and if you reach to kiss her and she be like, nah, she might be doing you a favor. Like her breath might not be right or something. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? She might not have had no Altoids in her pocket of her purse.
Yeah, I'm glad you can't see my face right now. I'm glad you can't see my face.
I'm just saying. Right? So you just never know. But I'm not generally a kiss on the first date person anyway, personally. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know what you've been doing with your mouth, girl. Like that ain't. Hold up.
Hey, Raj claims it broke his wife's heart that he didn't kiss on the first date, but I think he lying. Rob,
yeah, really,
talk to me, man. Your first date, man. If you feel like you want to tongue her down, you want to give it a Rob Deluxe, and she not feeling it.
Would it be a boutique kiss, Raj?
Thank you for asking.
Rob, would it be a boutique kiss or a major retail kiss? That's all I want to know.
You know what? Thank you so much for asking. Since you did ask, and yes,
thank you so much for asking.
I have my sacks here too. So yeah, we gonna tongue. We gonna do it. We gonna do it up. You know, that's what we're gonna do, because the vibe, the energy, and everything is gonna be. Yes, it's going to be so electrifying.
Walk away feeling a certain way. If that's what you want and that's not what she wants, do you feel a certain way?
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, I have not had that experience where.
You mean fortunately?
Reciprocal. It wasn't something. Yeah. Fortunately. Thank you so much. I can't see you moving your head, but I hear you. So that's good. So no, fortunately, I have not had that experience.
I'll tell a real quick story, and we're over time, so we got to get out of here. But I'll tell you a real quick story. I went out on a date with a young lady I'm still really, really, really good friends with. And actually, we have been out on several dates. We're probably up to about date number 4 at this point. And I walked her to her door like I always did, and I leaned in to kiss her. And she gave me that grandma, auntie, crazy lips, crazy glued together, kind of kiss back. And I was like, So the next day when we talked, I actually texted her. We were texting during the day. And I said, are you not attracted to me? Because I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? You let me know. And, I've been friend zoned before. It's cool. So I'm like, are you not attracted? And she's like, why did you ask that? And I told her, I said, well, we've been out on like 4 or 5 dates, in the time that I have leaned in and tried to kiss you, you give me the great aunt kiss, the Cicely Tyson special. And I'm like, I'm wondering if you're attracted to me at all. And she said, well, I've moved a little, lean in. She said, I've moved a little fast in the past, and so for me, kisses are for relationships. And this is not to discredit Mel's position at all, because I'm very much like Mel in terms of an energy person. If I'm feeling that thing, that's when we'll do it. If I'm not feeling it, then I'm not trying to do it. But I told her, I said, well, I'm glad that I didn't think that, opening every car door and paying for dinner at every date and, financing everything that we've done up to this point was for relationships. Because if that's the case, we'd have been doing things very differently. And so she realized that she was maybe being a little hypersensitive based on some mistakes that she had made in the past, and she was carrying them over. And it ended up being like a great laugh for us, But I think the most important lesson in that is that we always forget, man, that we are bringing a bunch of stories, good and bad, to our interactions, and the person that we're dealing with is bringing a bunch of stories, good and bad, to the interaction. And we've got to be conscious of the fact that those things have to be navigated and managed. And because we're on opposite ends at the very outset, doesn't mean that we can't work. Doesn't mean we can't figure that thing out and get to a better place with it. So I feel like I just dropped a dime on y'all. I wish y'all could see my face. You know, it would be like I was real proud right now.
You sound real proud of yourself right there, Shawn. You really
did
do.
drop it.
So the moral of the story is, if you're gonna date the foreman on the cave over here, you know, bring those lips and perk her up. Okay, that's
at
the
least by
message
date
from
number
Mel,
5. You know,
Eric,
can I get a by date number
Right.
5, Glenn? Can I
We
get
want a
one by
pucker.
date number
I want a
5?
pucker.
We ain't got to do it on the first date, but by date number 5, you know.
Yeah. If you want finance from Shawn, we don't need the tight lip Miss Jane Pittman kiss. Okay, that's what he's saying.
Hey, look, Glenn, the way my life is set up, if we get to 5 dates, it's probably been 6 months.
All right, Shawn. That's negativity, Shawn. Stop it.
Is that what it is? Okay. Hey, man, I know y'all can't see it, but I'm as always having a great time with you guys, man. I'm sad that we're over time and we got to get out of here. Shout out to my girl Melanie Vaughn. I promised I would get her question asked today, and she's a really, really, really great lady and a faithful watcher of the show. And her and her girlfriend
Sean taking payments under the table to get questions on the show.
Say what?
Sean taking payments under the table to get questions on the show. That's what it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. My Cash App and Zelle are no. But anyway, man, Eric, man, always great to see you, man.
My man.
You'll be back with us again soon.
Yes,
Rob, you know how it is. You one of us. You just ain't on every week. You know, you family, brother, and we love and appreciate you, man. You have been a part of some of the most memorable moments this show has had, man. So you know how we do. Noopy, you know you my man. I'm always great to
I don't
when you work out. I'm always great.
That work out.
You look like it. Robert Doo-Wop Hazzard. And Memphis Glenn, you know you my man. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys letting me sit in this spot with you. So everybody that's watching, I hope you had a good time. We sure did. And hope you check in with us next Saturday, man. I won't be on for the after show, guys. I'm gonna get to my niece, man. But love you all, and see y'all next Saturday, man.
Peace.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.